Okay, Birmingham St Mary's Hospice has been going for 40 years, and to mark the anniversary there's to be a royal visit. Lindsay Breeze is Director of Finance and Support Services at the hospice. Lindsay, you're getting ready for the visit.
We are, and we're very excited. We haven't had a royal visit for some time. In fact, our last royal visit was Princess Diana, and she had Harry in her tummy when she came. And we have one member of staff who's just retired after 30 years service who was telling me great details about when Princess Diana came, and so wouldn't it be lovely 30 years later to have another royal visit, and of course what a great time in terms of what's happening with Harry and Meghan and their impending arrival.
Oh, so everybody's very excited and a royal visit's lovely, but what does it actually mean? I mean, 40 years of the hospice.
Absolutely. So we've been here for, well, we'll have been here for 40 years in March. We've seen lots of changes in that time, some for the better, some for the worse, you could argue, in terms of funding, but I won't go into that today. Let's keep back the royal visit, as we said, which is happening soon. So there's been a lot of change in 40 years. Our services have changed dramatically in that time. We went from seeing 100 patients in the first few years when we opened, and we now see over 1,000 patients a year. So we've been on a real journey as a hospice, and we are looking forward to marking 40 years in a very public and sort of thank you and a public display of affection by having a royal visit here that we can share with the community around us.
So 40 years ago, I mean, the hospice movement, or the second wave of the hospice movement, if you like, it wasn't that old itself, was it? People were getting used to the idea that the organisations would be set up. What do you think? You've mentioned there are changes. What do you think are some of the good changes that have happened?
I think without doubt we've made death and dying more accessible. We see more people, as I've already said. We make it a more comfortable subject. We don't only see people who are on their last weeks or months of lives. We actually go on a journey with some of our patients, and we can see patients for up to several years and help them to have a good death eventually, but to live well in that period. So I think we offer so much to so many people, and it's a really good opportunity to say, again, thank you to the community, and also to recognise that we'd like to be here for another 40 years, and what we could also change, not just from seeing more patients, but seeing patients in different ways, in their home, in this building, who knows, in a new building, but just different innovative ways of seeing patients, and also expanding our reach and our help and the community services that we provide.
You slipped in a new building there. Is that a realistic prospect?
Well, I have to be realistic. There aren't many people that would be in the same building for 40 years and not expect some sort of development at some point in the future. So we would hope there are exciting times ahead, but we have to be realistic. I'm the finance director, as I'll always tell you. We've got to fund it, and I will always fund services over bricks and mortar in the first instance.
In those 40 years, do you think public attitudes, not to death and dying necessarily, but to hospices themselves, do you think they've changed?
I think they've changed slowly and not quickly enough by that comment. There is this misconception about what a hospice is, what a hospice does, its links with hospitals. I think there's more that we can do in that area. I think that hospitals refer to us, and clinicians are very understanding of what we do, but I think at large the public are not understanding of what we do, because frankly we're a service you don't use unless you need us. So I think there's a lot of educating we can do, and there's a lot of joy actually in the hospice world, and I think that's a big surprise to many people who end up using our services. What
would you like, one opportunity, what would you like the public to know about hospices that you feel that they don't understand very well?
Again, I'm trying not to say we're only 40% funded by the NHS, but that is, I've got to say that. But what I'd like them to understand is my previous point. We're not just here for you and your family at the end of life. We're here to take you through the journey up to the point of death, but also thereafter. We have a very large family and care support team, so we don't just deal with death, dying and the clinical aspects. We deal with the whole support service and the whole system around you and you as a family.
Thanks very much.